You're listening to Pointing Pointers, the point-to-point podcast. Hello. You are listening to Pointing Pointers. This is season 5, episode 3. I'm Ben Atkins. That there is Sam Davies Thomas. Sam, you've had a haircut. You're looking less like Claire and more like a real man.
I'm trying, Ben. Yeah, Jimmy King said I was Noel Edmonds, so I preferred Noel Edmonds to Claire Bolden. But
yeah, that moustache.
Sorry,
that moustache.
Did you notice? Did you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and become a real man for the month and do November as an excuse to see if I can become a man. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Right, you do some coaching in some other areas of your life for that, I think. But it's worth crack.
Thanks.
Speaking of moustaches, I had a voice note the other day from old Daniel Cherryman.
Did you?
Yeah. Constructive criticism on the show.
Well, that's what we like.
He said he thinks that the show should now be called the Guess Who's Talking show, because we don't do any intros of the voice notes because we just assume everyone knows who it is, and over the captions on YouTube. Take it on board, Dan. Appreciated. Pardon?
You're taking the blame for that, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Good. Yeah, no, we like it was good.
So we've got entries for the weekend, and it's all beginning to feel pretty real.
It is, Ben. Yeah, we got our forum. Well, your forum. Actually, no, I said our. No, your forum.
Our, Sam.
No, yours seemed to fly along. There seems to be a bit more interest in there, which is good. Everyone getting excited for the week ahead and the pointing season coming. So yeah, if you want to have a look, get on pointingpointers.co.uk onto the forum, sign up. It's very simple to use, actually. Even I can manage it. You haven't
managed it very well so far, Sam. Let me tell you. I've not seen you on there. Not seen you not active. But now that the pointing season is coming to a start, like many people, you'll start getting on there. And
yeah, fingers crossed we can all get involved and embrace it a bit and put our thoughts out. And yeah, it'd be good to everyone to communicate that way and see how it goes. But good, sign up.
So I spoke earlier actually to a bookmaker who does stuff on the rules and goes pointing a lot, and we'll introduce him in due course. But we're going to do a bit of a episode with him, Sam, in a few weeks to talk about how he prices all this stuff up. It'd be interesting, and the reason I mention it is we start at Nightwick and Dunbar at the weekend, and it's really an unknown how fit people's horses are, how healthy people's horses are, and stop reading your text messages while we're doing a podcast, Sam. Honestly, guys, it's like babysitting. I've got 2 children of my own. I've got another one. Look at him, big baby face, reading his messages, watching Liverpool in the background. It's an absolute fiasco. Sam, what did I just say?
You're trying to gauge where people's horses are. Yes, that's right.
Yes. Great. Okay, right. So there's lots of unnamed variables. In fact, let's talk about one variable, going descriptions. Surely a man of your calibre has done some homework.
Yeah, we need some rain everywhere, don't we? Even under rules tracks are struggling, really. But yeah, Nightwick, currently good to soft in places, dry and weak. I can't imagine it's going to be too quick, to be honest. I think Jim says he's pretty confident it's not drying too quickly. So yeah, you can expect some decent ground there, hopefully. And that's on Saturday. If no one knows where that is, Nightwick's just to the west of Worcester. Done my geography.
7 miles, Sam, I believe.
7 miles, in fact. Yeah. Flat track on old turf with 2 long straights. So yeah, nice track. Obviously, they had the school in there, didn't they? Did you go along to
that? No, I went to the one at Maidesmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are doing school after racing again, which is interesting.
Yeah, so see how that gets, if that gets much interest. Obviously, Maidesmore did, which was good. Hopefully, we can push that a bit more and try and support the local courses. And then Sunday, Dunsmore, good to soft in places down near Exeter. Devon and Cornwall meet. So yeah, obviously there's not much rain forecast, but so hopefully by the time this comes out, we'll have more of an idea. Because we're only on Tuesday now, Ben. It's not going to come out because our producer's a bit stuck till Friday, and could all change. That was brave,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, very, very. I'd be amazed if it makes the edit. So we are recording now because we've got a special guest this week, hopefully, and we'll introduce him very shortly. But Sam, what, if anything, do you fancy from the entries this weekend before we get to that?
There was a name quite close to my heart that popped out on the screen when I saw entries at Nightwick and Dunsmore. A certain Tommy Morgan, who I probably rode most of my winners for when I rode. He's got 3 horses in training this year to
Wow.
go points, so that's good. So
Wow.
yeah, I'd highly advise anyone to follow his horses throughout the year because I can tell you they'll be in the right races and they'll be fit. One of the best
That's pretty
people.
big news, actually, guys.
Yeah, I don't know where he's training from. I haven't spoke to him actually, but yeah, probably one of the best trainers I rode for. Sorry, Nick Pierce, you'll have to let that one go. But yeah, Tommy was always on the money. Very, very good. He's got the composer in this weekend. The horse
Right.
used to be John Joe. O'Neill gave the lads in the yard there a few rides last year. And yeah, he's got that, and that's in at Nightwick and Dunsmore. So be interested to see where he goes. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. Yeah. So it's nice to see people come back into the sport, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's a right curveball, but as you say, very, very shrewd operator and one that we'll have to follow closely. So, who else do you fancy to hit the dartboard this weekend?
I spotted a horse of Tom Malone's in the maiden at Nightwick. A horse called Blazing Force. He's got it in the restricted as well, which I'm pretty sure he did a couple of years ago when I'm restricted with a maiden. Could be wrong. But a horse called Blazing Force was 6th behind Ronnie Rules in Ireland in a maiden point to point. Ronnie Rules has obviously gone on to win multiple.
Scale and bumper horse. Yeah.
So he's one to keep an eye on for. Obviously, Tom Malone, he does well with his point to pointers. And then Hannah Roach, obviously trying to kickstart the season early. All the big guns are out. Iskandar Pecos, time leader. Interesting one for me. Rewrite the Rules. Formerly trained by David O'Brien, ridden by David O'Brien. It's now trained by Hannah Roach. And
Hang on. Can I just say, this is one of your cliff horses. The amount of times we've backed this in a hunter chase thinking that this today is today.
I know
you do. I know you do.
I love this horse. And I see he's entered in a point to point. Nothing against David. Great. Brilliant. However,
Jockey upgrade. What are you saying?
wow, Hugh Edwards. Good lad.
Similar style.
Love it.
Yeah,
so Hannah Roach comes to get on the board early, which is good. Always, their horses are always going to be fit. She's had a good trainer in her training career, I suppose, is a good way to say it. So they'll be fit. Another interesting runner, Nick Pierce, a good friend of mine. He's got 2 mentions on this podcast. It's got Village Way entered this weekend. So be interested to see where he goes. He was quite a nice maiden in Ireland before coming over here and running under rules and disappointing. He's had a bit of time off, but he's been showing the right signs, I'm told. So he'll be ridden by Sean O'Connor to give the lads in the yard a bit of a go again. Obviously, Sean's going to have a few more rides this year. So yeah, that was Nightwick. They were the ones that stood out to me at Nightwick. Obviously, brief look. Obviously, there's going to be plenty more of them. Hopefully, it's not just the big yards we want to be talking about; it's the small yards as well. So,
no flies on you, Sam. Is there? No flies on you.
Always, mate.
So, what do I fancy, Sam? Good of you to ask. I think that
I don't really care, to be honest.
We joked about it with Charlie last week, but yeah, that Kilford and Woods looks to be enjoying life, and yeah, I really think that he could go well without looking at anything else in the race. Done my due diligence.
You're that certain?
Yeah, I don't need to look, Sam. I'm driving to Nightwick to back it.
Where's it? It's running at Nightwick, is it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. You heard it here first. Probably shouldn't have, but you did. So that was a bit accidentally David Brent, wasn't it? I mean, I'm quite often accidentally David Brent, but that was very Brent. So Sam, our special guest this week. It's been very hard to pin down, but I'm
Well,
delighted
Dunsmore.
to say anything at Dunsmore, Sam.
Yeah, there's a few. I think Alan Hill's going to run one. If he doesn't run Amarin Sage on the Saturday, it'll be his first run on the Sunday. Highland Glory in the intermediate, ridden by Walter Barnett, who won on him last time out last year. Be interesting to see where the Hills have got their horses. Obviously, as you said earlier, so it's kind of interesting to see the first few meetings where the horses are at. But yeah, he's got this Sunday night partnership, which is quite a popular partnership with the Hills. I understand there's some shares still available. No plug there, but I imagine Amarin Sage will probably wait if the ground's too quick at Nightwick as well. So that will go to Nightwick. The Ellises seem to have a maiden in there. I see they got late night pass actually in the Grand Sefton on Saturday, so good luck to them there. But there's a horse the Ellis has got in the maiden called Drop Me at the Station. It's got some nice Irish form, brings that into the table, so obviously that can't be ignored. And also Will Biddick's horse in the maiden as well. Vol Royale was second to Tormund Giantsbane at Kimball. Tormund Giantsbane had gone on to win a bumper at Worcester. And that was his only start. So yeah, that's coming back into it. And then other things to note, James King, he looks to be spreading his wings nice and early. Just getting around the place. He must be riding that everywhere. He must be flat out, that lad. So I think it'd be nice to have a little chat with him as well, won't it? I think we've got a little chat with him on the podcast later on. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Sam, let's do it right now. Let's go to that bit on the running order where it says Sam to intro James King.
Got him.
Good one, Sam. God, you're good. Here he is. Here's James.
Hi, morning, Sam. Yes, I had a relatively busy summer. I've been riding out most days for Ollie Murphy, playing a bit of cricket in my spare time, which has been great. I'm really looking forward to the season gearing up now. I'd imagine it'd be sort of very much the same, really, trainers-wise and people I'll be riding for. I had a great bunch of owners and trainers last year, and we'll have exactly the same bunch again. So, no, fingers crossed. Really looking forward to it. Plans for the season? I don't know, really. It'll just be sort of ride as many winners as you can and stay injury-free and enjoy it, really. That'll be the main thing. But no, really looking forward to the season kicking off and look forward to seeing everyone about.
So, Sam, now time to talk to Paul Miller. It's taken a bit of doing, and in doing so, it's made me realise how incredibly busy the man is already. So, yeah, very grateful to Paul for his time, and you can hear what he had to say to me here.
So, I am now joined by Paul Miller. Paul, we've been equally as hard as each other to track down, but we got here in the end.
We got there just in the nick of time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the podcast goes out tomorrow morning, so we're going to throw this at Stephanie and hope that it comes out in the wash. But thanks a lot for coming along, Paul. You've been busy, as I've mentioned. What's been the main work of the summer so far as you settle into your new role?
The main work of the summer is getting through a to-do list. It's about that size, and to get through it, there's another one that's that size. There's
more than you're getting through. I know the feeling well.
Oh, God. So I think, in fairness, Peter Wright did say this summer the close season is really, really busy for the point-to-point office, and he wasn't wrong. And I think in normal years it's full on, but I think given that I'm new in the post, it makes it doubly or trebly so, because I'm having to learn all of these things for the first time. It's a big learning curve for me coming in, to this role, but also there's so many stakeholders across racing and point to point that want to meet me because I've taken up posts, and that in itself is a full-time job.
Yeah.
So,
and then annoying hangers-on on the fringes like me that keep trying to get hold of you to record a podcast that you could live without. So yeah, I feel your pain.
Well, ask me at the end of this if you fall into that category. But up to now, I haven't had one meeting that hasn't been good. Every single meeting, I've met really good people with really good ideas and taken something away from it. And I think that's the thing that's really impressed me is across racing, how many good, nice, knowledgeable people there are that want to support pointing.
Yeah,
it's great. It will make my job so much easier going forward because we've had a look at a lot of things. We'll start implementing a lot of things, but that will make life so much easier.
So you're enjoying yourself?
Can you tell?
Yeah, well, you smile. You're still smiling, and that's the thing, isn't it? You know, I'm pleased that everyone needs you to be enjoying yourself at this stage, because if you're fed up by the time the first season comes around, that not good, is it? So no, that's really good.
I love it. I love it. I think the only thing, I met Peter Wright a few weeks after he finished in the job, and he looked about 20 years younger. I thought it was his son, and he doesn't have a son. And I look at myself, and I'm about 20 years older, so I just see my dad.
Oh man, well, you know, it's I'm sure it'll all be worth it.
It will.
So we'll have you on. My plan is, rather than do kind of hour and 40-minute long specials like we did with Peter occasionally, my plan is to sort of try and have you on little and often to kind of update people about, as some of these great ideas that are in the offing at the moment sort of come to fruition and start being implemented. So it'd be little and often would be better to have you on. But just so we'll just keep it fairly headliney today. But what are the, from a professional point of view, from your roles point of view, what are the things that you're looking forward to most for pointing this season and beyond?
God, that's a question. Well, as in the things that we are doing at the moment from the PPA.
Yeah, what's exciting you the most about what's coming down the tracks, do you think?
Okay, so there'll be a lot of things we're looking at now we'll announce before next season, but they won't come into play until next season. So the big things we're looking at, so we're building relationships across the sport. There's an awful lot. If you look at the Jockey Club, the Levy Board, the BHA, they all want to support pointing.
Right.
And those relationships weren't really there before, but they're all falling into place really, really quickly. And we're impressed with that. So you'll see a lot of programs, whether that's cash, whether that's ideas, whether it's support or expertise, coming from all of those ones. The things we're looking at, which really interests me, we're looking at novice rider allowances at the moment, because we think the feeling is they're not high enough, they don't last long enough. And we're losing young novice riders in the sport because they can't be competitive against the more professional riders that are riding all the time. We're looking at all the race types. So it started off, we were looking at conditions races, and particularly conditions on top of the conditions. But actually, we've got a group that are looking at every single race type at the moment. Wow. And we'll see by the end of this season what changes we want to make and announce them for the following season. We've got a new marketing strategy about to get put into place. So we've looked at our marketing, what we had before, what we need as a sport to be able to grow the sport. So we've had a group of really good marketers looking at that, people within pointing, within racing, and outside both. So they're feeding back on that. We're about to have a new digital and content marketing person start with us as well.
Brilliant.
So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And that I want to give it away. That person.
Oh, we know what gender it is. The gender reveal party live on. You should have done a blue or pink balloon call. Anyway,
that person, they'll work within the marketing strategy, which will work nationally and locally. But again, we'll announce that. And I think generally that stakeholder engagement, that's a bit that really excites me, and how supportive, how many people are pointing. So I think next season, it'll be interesting to see how this season unfolds, numbers-wise, horse numbers-wise, fixture-wise. But I think next season, you'll see a huge amount of changes coming in. And an awful lot more enthusiasm as well, even more than we have at the moment.
Fantastic. So I guess what you're saying is that the seeds are being sown now. We might see a few green shoots this season, but the flowers will start coming up the season after.
That's a good analogy. Well, they always say it's the first, what is it they say about the first 100 days in a row? And I've just passed that, the first 100 working days. And I think that's when you do all the donkey work, all the assessing everything, decide where you want to go. So yes, I like your analogy there about the seeds.
Feel free to use it. And Paul, obviously you're a big fan of the sport, which I don't want people to miss, you like pointing, and that's why you ended up in this role. You've I don't actually know the details, and I don't think anyone needs to, but of what you've done kind of commercially, but clearly you've had a background in business and a successful one. And you could have gone and done any job really, but you've chosen to do it. It's good fun. And I assume, and you've got some horses, you've got, a good horse that's still pointing. Tell us what you're looking forward to as a fan of the sport for the year.
I'm looking forward to a really competitive season again, because lots of people said how good the racing was last year. So I know there were different reasons for that. But personally, so last year I had 4 horses. So we had 3 pointers and an under rules. 2 of those horses decided they didn't want to be a racehorse anymore, so they won't be. They've gone off to do other things. So I'm sticking to 2 at the moment. We've got My Family's Magic under rules with Martin Keithley. We'll see how that goes.
Great.
In future, and we've got Glenmount with Julie Wadland and James King riding. So he was very exciting. We got him from Ireland last year. He ran 5 times, second twice, and then won 3 times. So I'm really looking forward to see how he's going. He's being aimed for Chadsley middle of December or 8th of December, and he seems to have come through the summer really well. So that I'm looking forward to from a competitive point of view. But just getting back out there, getting back out racing again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about it as well. Are you anywhere this weekend, or are you keeping your powder dry?
No, I'm at Nightwick. So my plan is I will go racing every weekend, but I'm going to try and keep it to 1 day, not 2 days.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy it. I want to be able to go racing and enjoy it and see some races.
Well, the rate you're going, you need a day to do the washing and ironing, if nothing else. So I think
you should see our house. It's a mess.
Well, it looks pretty tidy from here. It looks better than the Premier Inn that I'm in. But yeah, well, thanks so much for coming on. And as I said, we'll touch base with you lots more this season. But just wanted to say hello officially, really, and yeah, all the best for the coming weeks.
Thanks very much, and the best to you as well. You take care. See you.
Bye. New feature on the show. This is the corner of the podcast where we're going to promote a trainer, syndicate, a novice rider that's looking for a bit of a chance, whatever. Write into us. We'll give you a plug. Today's plug, they haven't asked for it because I just randomly selected it to get us off the mark, is that I've been seeing them do a lot on socials, and so good to give them a nod, is the Pointing Syndicate.co.uk. It's a pointing syndicate company. They have a racing club with an offer on right now. It's just £9.99 a month, and you get yard and gallop visits, race day hospitality, and loads of other stuff besides. So if you're looking to get involved in pointing in a very cost-effective way this season, good place to start. pointingsyndicate.co.uk, and that, Sam, is how we're going to do a weekly plug. So if you want, we can end up talking about the same group of people and the same set of horses and everything for quite a long point in time of the season. And it's important that we try and give anyone who's got something to plug a bit of a belt. So get in touch. Sam's number is 07. Whoa.
On socials, he's strong on socials, isn't he? It's really good, actually. It's nice to see someone being proactive and putting loads on socials. And he had the horse Captain Tommy last year. Was good for them, really good. So and it's nice to see people trying to push and think of different ideas to generate some publicity and get some more people into sport. Fair play to them.
100%. And you just reminded me about something. I'm just on the website now while I'm talking to you. And Toby McCain Mitchell is the poster boy, along with Hugh Edwards, actually, who I was jokingly slagging off earlier in the podcast. But it reminded me of his success last year as well. He had a really good season, Hugh, and I think he'll have another good one. And Toby, the jockey that we spoke to very early on in his career and followed all the way through, and he gave a very good ride to Tristan Davies horse at Cheltenham to win on an ICV racing the other day, and he's gone leaps and bounds, and it's really nice to see him rewarded. I think that pretty much brings the show to a close. Is there any other business? Anything you want to talk about?
I think certain training we haven't mentioned much on this podcast would be Joshua Newman. Obviously, he didn't get a shout out last week. Regards to who was going to win the title. Also, although they had a massive season last week, but as you said, on their own accord, they've already, they mentioned that they might not be as strong as they were last year. But interested to see they got 5 entries this weekend at Dunsmore, a couple mixed double entered, and they got 1 at Nightwick as well. Al Capitain I thought was extremely interesting. Maiden was rated 112 in Ireland, formerly finishing 3rd in a maiden hurdle. Only beaten 4.5 lengths by the Buddy One, which the Buddy One's now at 154. Right. So it's a run to probably 2 stone of that maiden hurdle run, then it'll win. Heard it here first.
It's been a show of incredible information, Sam, hasn't it? Anyway, thanks for sticking with us. It's been as slick as ever, but you'll be relieved to hear that as of next week, we'll actually have some racing to talk about. So, Sam, the company has been delightful. The knowledge has been insightful, and your hair is a travesty. Good night.
Good night.
You're listening to Pointing Pointers, the Point to Point podcast.